his favorite vase.
She always says don't play ball in the house.
Pork chops and applesauce. That's swell.
Marcia. Hey, you guys. Anyway, no!
Welcome to Here's the Story, a Brady Bunch podcast. Hey, I'm not going to tear this thing apart. It's my favorite show. Hey, glad to have you back for my Brady Bunch podcast. I mentioned in the last episode that after the Brady Bunch pilot was sold, a season of episodes were ordered, but that's not entirely true. Only 11 episodes were ordered, which, along with the pilot, would account for only half a season. After those started airing, an additional 13 episodes were ordered to finish out the first season, and that trend would continue throughout its first 4 of 5 seasons. Only half a season would be ordered at a time, and the cast were never sure if they were going to be canceled or not. This was because, believe it or not, the show never reached any higher than number 34 in the Nielsen ratings. It was kept on the air due to its popularity with children. The Brady Bunch was the first television series created and produced by Paramount Studios, which up until that time had been a movie studio exclusively. Earlier shows such as Star Trek and Bonanza were acquired by Paramount when the studio purchased Desilu Productions. All 117 episodes of the series originally aired on ABC every Friday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Speaking of Star Trek, there's even more of a connection between the two series. Actor Jeffrey Hunter played Captain Christopher Pike in the original pilot for Star Trek, before being replaced by William Shatner, and he lobbied Sherwood Schwartz for the role of Mike Brady, but the network rejected him for being too handsome for the role. Jeffrey Hunter died on May 27, 1969, several months before they started filming the second episode of The Brady Bunch. Also, when Florence Henderson arrived to do her screen test for Carol Brady, there was no one on staff to do her makeup, so she went over to the adjoining studio where Star Trek was filmed and took a seat in a makeup chair between William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy while they were preparing to film their final episode. She recalled they both completely ignored her. Well, for our second episode of The Brady Bunch, or the first of the series after the pilot, we have Dear Libby. Marcia reads a letter in the newspaper that was sent to the Dear Libby advice column from an anonymous parent of 3 children who just got married to another parent of 3 and feels that the new kids are ruining their marriage. This sets up your classic dilemma of misunderstanding that gets resolved by the episode's end. Some time has passed since the pilot. They're in the famous Brady house now, and they're settled in as a new family. But it's new enough that the plot seems very appropriate and believable. I love how the kids are a real team. They really like being a family. Mike and Carol are so cool, relaxing in their 1960s sunken living room with that rock wall fireplace, while she does needlepoint in a dress and he reads a book in his button-up shirt and slacks. When they catch Greg and Marcia clearly making up a tall tale, they just smirk at each other and let it slide. There's a funny scene where Marcia runs into a room to stop a fight between Bobby and Cindy, and she runs and stands with her arms stiff-armed and straight, hanging by her sides like they're made of plastic. Her fingers are splayed out and everything. This is probably why the characters from the Brady Bunch movie in the 1990s all ran around with those stiff, dead arms. There's a point in the show when Alice is the only one that has all the answers and could clear up all the confusion. But not only does she not, she somehow seems as clueless and lost as the rest of the family. It would be easy to dismiss this as a mistake in the writing, but for a second, just assume, okay, it happened. Accept it and try to figure out why. I say this because in my own life I've experienced absolute confusion caused by someone who could have and should have been the one to clear everything up. And when I asked them why, they had no idea. In fact, I can think of several times this has happened with several different people I know. No matter how implausible a sitcom can seem, real life is much stranger and many times not believable at all. Life doesn't have to make sense, but to me, the Brady Bunch does. Until next time.